Alright, so in 2018, there was this game that came out called Among Us, and recently, thanks to Twitch streamers and YouTubers alike, it has completely exploded in popularity. Now, if you're already a veteran of this game, feel free to skip ahead in this video, but for those who are new to the game, here's a quick rundown. Basically, the concept of the game is this. You are in a team of up to 10 players. You have crew members and 1 or 2 imposters. The crew members are responsible for exploring the map and completing certain specific tasks, and the imposters have to try and kill all of the crew members before the task can be completed. Each time a body is reported or an emergency meeting is called, the crew members try to evaluate who to vote off of the team. It's a game about teamwork and deceit, and it's super fun. Right now you can get it for free on Android or iOS, and as of recording this video, it is currently $5 on Steam. And with that little bit of information out of the way, let's get to the main subject of this video. Whether you are a seasoned player or brand new, let's talk about some tips and tricks that can help make you a better Among Us player. Okay, so this first tip is probably the more obvious one, but it's still important to talk about, and that is be aware of your surroundings. In Among Us, you have to rely on what little evidence you can when trying to vote a player out. So paying attention to your surroundings, paying attention to player behaviors and movement patterns is key to try and guess who the imposter is. If a body's found on the west side of the map, it's important to know who was over there and who might be telling the truth or who might be lying about where they were. Be observant of player movement patterns. Maybe you see someone going to the same task over and over again, hinting that they might be faking their tasks. Paying attention to the rooms around you and knowing the maps and specific locations of the different maps is very important as well in helping you become a better imposter and a better crewmate. Knowing the map and the names of the room will help you determine if someone is being truthful of their activities, but will also aid you in telling convincing lies of what you are up to as an imposter. A lot of times, the more detailed you can get with your explanations, a lot of times that will lead to a more trusting crew, and they will believe a lot of what you say. This next tip, spurring off of the first one, if you're an imposter, use vents, but use them with caution. Vents are obviously a great way at making quick kills and escapes. But if you're reckless and you rush using the vents after every kill, you risk getting caught by someone possibly walking into that area. Another thing to think about too is if you take a vent to a dead end zone, say like medical bay, and someone was just in there and comes out, and all of a sudden they see you come out of there, there really only is one explanation, and that's you're the killer and you're able to take the vents to different locations. When using these vents or tunnels, it's also important to keep an eye out on who has seen you walk past them. Because if a meeting is called and other players are saying that they saw you in other areas of the map in a relative short amount of time, that leads to a lot of people being very suspicious of your behavior, and it could potentially oust you as the imposter. Tip number 3, don't be afraid to stay silent. Personally, in my experience, a lot of the times the people who always throw accusations or take charge of the meetings become the first to be suspected of the group, even if they are innocent. Communication is important, but oversharing or dominating the conversation is a great way to get yourself in hot water with the group. Even if you've seen the killer, people might think you're just throwing them under the bus to protect yourself. If you can't make a convincing argument, maybe try to play it safe and wait for a better opportunity to make an accusation. I don't recommend staying completely silent the whole game, especially if you have someone accusing you of something, it's important to defend yourself. The main point I'm trying to give here is know the appropriate times when to speak. Don't try to dominate the entire conversation, and don't try to dominate every single meeting. In my experience with this game, saying less is oftentimes more helpful than saying more. My next tip that is important for both crew members and imposters alike, be seen doing your task. If you're a crew member and people see you doing your tasks, they'll hopefully know that you're not the killer and will hopefully vouch for you during the meetings. In Among Us, there are a select handful of tasks that other players can actually see being done. One task that comes to mind is when you're shooting at asteroids. If you're an imposter, stick to the tasks that are not visible by other players. And if you are a crew member, try to do those visible tasks in front of them so that they can get actual confirmation that you are not the imposter. My next tip isn't really much of a tip, but more of a request. If you die and become a ghost, please keep doing your tasks if you haven't finished them. If you're a ghost, don't leave the game. You can still help your team win and complete your tasks. In fact, sometimes being a ghost is a little beneficial because it allows you to just cut through all areas of the map and just get your tasks done. Unfortunately, when there's a sabotage, you can't really help in fixing that. But as far as the general tasks go, you can still contribute to the team and help your crewmates win. Whether you're dead or not, just do your tasks, please. And my last tip for Among Us, and probably my biggest personal bit of advice is to just play it calm and play it rational. A lot of times these games can get into screaming matches, or people just end up spamming the message section and just accuse everybody. If you're a crew member, one of the biggest things you don't want to have happen with your crew is to have everybody turn into this angry mob and start picking off people on your team left and right to their own detriment. Some people play this way of shooting the hostages, just trying to vote people off each time, and if you're the imposter, you can definitely play into that. But if you're not, you don't want to have the team mob up each time and just start voting random people off. Because most of the time you don't get lucky and you only end up hurting your team and making it the job easier for the imposters. During these meetings where accusations are being thrown out, don't be afraid to vouch for other people. If you had someone following you around, for example, and they had all these opportunities to kill you but didn't, speak up on that. Giving these little bits of information to the crew will help calm things down and help your group think more rationally. And especially if you're vouching for someone, whether you're the imposter or a crew member, it oftentimes leads to sort of an unspoken alliance between the person that you vouched for and yourself. A lot of times if you vouch for someone in the game, they are less likely to accuse you of doing the killing. And piggybacking off the previous point of don't be afraid to be silent, when you start freaking out and dominating the conversation and kind of just trying to talk over everybody else, this just kind of builds up that crazy mob mentality and only really excites everybody and actually hurts you in your attempts to find the imposter. As an imposter, when you have the team acting irrational and chaotic, that is oftentimes the best way to play and to exploit other players. Among Us is a very psychological game. Generally speaking, as a crew member, you want to keep the calm, and as an imposter, you benefit from chaos. Whether you're an experienced player or brand new to the game, I hope that you found some of this information useful. And if you yourself have any additional tips to give that can help you win more games, please, I do encourage you to leave a comment down below. But that about wraps it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, as always, for watching the video and checking out the channel. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like on this one, because it is one of the best ways that you can help us get our videos seen by the algorithm. And if you have a friend who plays Among Us, or if you're trying to convince one to get the game as well, consider sharing this video with them. If you're new around here and like the content that we make, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell icon to stay up to date on everything that we're doing. We publish new videos every Monday and Friday, as well as live stream gameplay every Wednesday night, usually around 9 p.m. Central Time. But seriously, that's enough rambling out of me. Thank you again so much for watching. My name is Blake, and for all things tech, games, movies, and other nerdy things in between, be sure to subscribe to Digital Cynics. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next time.